Good morning, everybody. These are the hands of my mum, and she is going to show you how she is weaving baskets or jugs from paper. My morning was pretty busy, so I missed running this day, but for the good reason. What you can see here is the procedure of weaving. It's not the procedure of preparation of these paper sticks, just weaving the basket. And I think it's a very delicate matter. You definitely have to be patient in order to do this. And my mum prefers doing that in the mornings or in the evenings. That's the best time ever. While she's weaving baskets, I usually enjoy the nature, the birds, and everything around. That's why mornings and evenings are the best part of the day for me. You may also wonder, how much time does it take to weave a jug or a basket? Well, of course, that depends on the size. Well, my mom does it pretty quickly, and usually I'm surprised by the pace of weaving that she has. And this jug is going to be finished by the end of the day, believe me, but it doesn't take the whole day. Just a couple of hours with several pauses and everything is done. These are actually the paper sticks that my mum is drying at the moment for another jug. Actually, these are the paper sticks that she prepared beforehand. My mum is actually a librarian. She works in a library, and sometimes when she has spare minutes there, she has a lot of them, so she kind of paints them, and then she takes them out to dry before starting the weaving process. And the color is so natural. That is the color I asked her for, because I always prefer natural colors when I want to have something. And I always ask her for lots of baskets and jugs. I just love these things. Thing I'm worried about, and the thing I want to save, are the apricots. The apricot is a dream of mine. I want to grow them, but I still don't know much about it. And what I learned yesterday is that both of the apricots that I have, that is the apricot of the last year and the apricot of this year that I planted, I hope you can see that. Do not pay attention to the pumpkin. They are diseased, and you can see that by looking at the leaves. These are not insects. First of all, I thought that they were insects. No, it's not. It's the fungal disease. And I was listening to the lectures yesterday. The same with this apricot. Look at that, at the leaves. And the most troublesome part is the glue that is running through the wounds. And I got so scared because it's a very dangerous sign. Also, don't pay attention to this one, just to the trunk. It's a very dangerous sign, and I learned that I need to remove it. And I wanted to do it today, and I hope I can do that, and I will show the result. I know the steps what to do, but the only thing I'm worried about is actually about the health of my apricot, because I'm not sure how many healthy tissue this apricot has, because there are 3 wounds of this type on my apricot, and I really wanted to try and save it, because these are these wounds are not on the branches, they are on the main trunk. If I go lower, the same as here, these are small ones, but here the glue is running all the time, like this one. Yeah, and they say, and again, I wasn't knowledgeable about this because I never had apricot, and they say it's a very dangerous sign, and if I don't do anything with it, the tree will die. And I'm actually even really worried about the small one, because it's still so tiny. But my priority is obviously, first of all, this big one. Right now I'm going to harvest a bit, and it's so surprising for me how quickly everything is getting ripe. It seems like only a couple of days ago I was harvesting peppers. There are lots of red peppers right now, and due to the fact that I always show a big amount of harvest that I pick, a lot of you asked me about what I'm doing with all of the harvest. So I'm planning on including everything that we do with the harvest that we have, and sharing different ideas of how you can save your harvest, especially if it is really abundant. But one part that you have to know is that during summer, when we're living here and harvesting everything, a good portion of harvest goes to our current needs, like preparing the stews, frying something, boiling something. So we don't like go to the shop quite often, and we try to rely on what we are growing here at the moment. But of course, as this year with aubergines and peppers, there are so many of them that we literally don't know what to do with them. And I think that it's going to be a very relevant video to include like all of the steps of what we're doing and what we use in order to preserve the food for the winter. Because the winter, basically the autumn and winter, are the seasons when we try and also rely partially on what we store and what we preserved. These are also the baskets that my mum created from paper too, and they are my go-to baskets when I harvest. I mean, like, they are beautiful, and also when you put your harvest here, it's like twice as beautiful. And also they're very nice to take photos with. They never rip or break or anything, as long as they are in dry conditions. And I will start with the polytunnel and a quick look at what we have here with the peppers and aubergines. There are lots of red peppers, and look at how many peppers there are at the top part of the plants. It's such an incredible thing to have such a bumper crop, but you always have to come up with the ideas of what we can do with that. So basically discuss what we're going to do with these peppers, and right now I'm going to harvest them and then show you what we're going to do with them too. By the way, that's the third jug that my mum created, I think for the past week, which is super speedy, and it's a little bit smaller because I asked her to create smaller jugs for me. I'm going to take them with me and to put dried flowers. Here I'm going to put lavender, dried lavender, because I collected it when our lavender was blooming. And what a nice one, and look at the color. The color is, I don't know, I can't even describe, but it looks so natural. There is nothing like artificial or nothing bright about the color. It's a very natural color that I really love. Obviously I can't pick up the harvest because it's really small, but that is only for the flowers. Like, for example, these ones. I think that they are going to look really beautiful, but unfortunately you can't dry them, but they are nice. By the way, this year is a very lucky year because finally I got the red varieties. Of course they are mixed in with yellow ones. These are the varieties that I didn't have, and I'm so lucky to got them. By the way, I planted them from seeds. So yeah, any flower can fit in, but you definitely have to think about what flower can dry out beautifully. Another thing that I'm really proud of is actually of this variety of peppers. As you can see, there are so many peppers in one plant. I bought the seeds, not of hybrid, but of the variety. And that is the result of my own seeds that I gathered from the plant of last year. I'm going to keep replanting my own seeds so I don't have to buy or look for a perfect variety. Sometimes I'm really tired of, of buying new varieties and not getting a very good harvest and like losing the season to having like a very small amount. But that is one of the things I'm particularly excited about and proud of. Just look at them, even at the very top part, it's still like the pepper is blooming. There were small ones and there were so many of them. And just like, getting down, that is like another layer of peppers. Then there is another one, and that is that I am picking currently. And basically, like, I'm starting with the first level, then when the second level is ready, I'm going to pick them. They're still not ready, they're even growing. And look at that. It's incredible, because I think that is a record breaker. These are in other varieties, they are also great, but this one is going to be my must-have for every season. Again, the aubergine is killing it. So that is the second harvest of peppers. The previous one was a little bigger for sure. This one is smaller, but again, that's more than enough. I mean, like, that's the variety I was talking about. It's remarkable, isn't it? And I'm going to harvest the tomatoes that are not in the polytunnel but in the open right now. And I'm going to harvest them while they're still green, because there is one important reason for this. Usually we have blight appearing in the end of July, but this July was, like, the end of July was pretty dry. That's why we didn't have any signs of blight until the first days of August. And today I see the first signs of blight on potato field. That's why the tomatoes are still okay. I'm going to start picking the tomatoes that are closer to getting ripe while they're still green, because once the blight jumps to the tomato plants, it's going to ruin the plant, and not only the plant but also the tomatoes. So it's really important. It's a very surprising thing, but this year the tomatoes in the open are better and are more productive than tomatoes in the polytunnel. I know my mistake about the polytunnel. I planted them too close to each other and they didn't like it at all. That's why I'm not going to do the same mistake next year. I'm going to plant twice as less as I have right now. Just have a look at how many tomatoes there are on only one plant. That's not a high variety. Let's have a look. How beautiful they are and so huge. I never kind of like did anything with them, just mulched them. I wasn't even watering the tomato. This variety is a hybrid and I can't take the seeds, but I'll try. Who knows? Maybe I will be successful in that. That's another bush. Okay. Have a look at these. It's so remarkable. They're so big. The same as here. Drinking coffee before going to bed is something that I love doing, and it's because like, it doesn't deprive me of sleep or anything. I sleep like a baby when I drink coffee. On such a quiet evening, I'd like to drink coffee. Unfortunately, I don't see any stalks today, which is pretty sad, because I really wanted to continue this tradition of showing them every evening, because they do appear every evening. Last year, when like during this time when our honeysuckle was blooming, we had an unusual creature flying, and I found that it's called an elephant hawk moth. And unfortunately this year we don't have it. I haven't seen it, but I just remember those evenings last year when we were like, staying here with a cup of tea and listening to this buzzing of the moth and looking at it because it's so hard to spot it. It's like it moves really quickly. So I'm going to enjoy my coffee, then go to sleep and see you tomorrow. Good night.